Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, February 8th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, PLTR. And another big move today. This will mean a little bit more to those of you that watched yesterday's video, because if you did, hopefully you remember me talking about that resistance line right there. And you can see opening 30 minutes, price came up there, broke through it very, very nicely. And then the rest is history. Made another nice surge. And then it's basically just been consolidating. So I understand sideways action isn't the most exciting thing, but when the sideways action is happening at much higher levels and maintaining those gains, that is also a good sign. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. The first key update, I'm just going to update right here. And that is based on the foundational rule in charting that when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, they tend to act as support. So a very near-term level in terms of, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest going forward. That would be if the price can stay above that line right there. But don't get me wrong, it's not like if the price falls below that level, that implies the entire chart's destroyed or anything like that. From the overarching standpoint, just watch that purple line down here, the 50-period moving average. So as the name implies, as that time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher and also serve as basically a trend line that's drawing itself for you. In terms of areas of resistance, nothing fancy here, just a question of where did the party finally stop today. And you can see that you have a pretty flat top area right there, right around 23.85. So keep an eye on that from a resistance standpoint. But all in all, another good day. Next one, ticker symbol HOLO. And what a monster move this thing had today. I'm guessing a low float just based on how much it moved. But what's interesting here is it's doing a great job of holding and maintaining those gains. I just talked about a lot of these things, these low floats, they'll make great moves, but then they'll have big, nasty pullbacks or sometimes total crashes. But that hasn't been the case at all. I mean, yeah, it's had little miniature pullbacks there and there, but nothing dramatic in the least. So seemingly quite a bit of underlying strength here on this one. Now, that doesn't mean that all of a sudden this thing can't flush, but point being is that it's done a very impressive job of maintaining and holding up those gains that it's made so far. So once again, in terms of areas of resistance, nothing fancy here. Just going back to that question of, okay, well, where did the party stop today? That's right up there at $12.30. So just keep an eye on that moving forward. And then as far as supports are concerned, if you like to play more so pullbacks, an area that stands out to me down there at $7, which I realize seems kind of crazy. What are you talking about, $7? The price is all the way up here right now. Well, that's the catch-22. When you have these monster moves, even basic pullbacks like this, I mean, because think about this. Even if the price pulled back here, all you'd have is a nice little bull flag pattern. But yeah, where it was all the way down there from a percentage standpoint, that's a pretty big percentage. But again, that's the catch-22 with this price range and when you have these stocks that move very quickly. But all in all, impressive movement, impressive strength. So we'll see if the momentum carries into Thursday. Next one here, ticker symbol SNAP, Snapchat, one of these very well-known stocks and absolutely beat down today after earnings. And now getting some interesting action here. So let me get this pattern here drawn into play. So we have the bottom part of the pattern right there, the support. There we go. So there is the support. And then in terms of the resistance, whoops, sorry about that. You have this area right here. And this is what I would call a falling wedge pattern, which is a bullish pattern. I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive, but falling wedge is bullish. A rising wedge would actually be bearish. But falling wedge on a stock that's very well known, beat down, a whole lot of volume. There are no guarantees, but is it reasonable that if the price can push up through the top part of this pattern, which you can see right now, knocking on the door, but if it can push up through there, could that break generate some additional buying pressure, even if you just want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy? Yes, absolutely. So again, there are no guarantees, but that's certainly a plausible way to look at this in terms of, a pattern breakout and other people watching just the general pattern. So if you like falling wedges, if you like this kind of price range, then I definitely keep an eye on Snapchat. Next one here, ticker symbol NYCB. Been quite the drama fest with this one, and has finally got some upwards movement here. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level. So there's no doubt about it. I state the obvious when I say from where it was at its lows to where it's been able to battle back up to, good solid move. But that does lead to the valid question of, but is there any sort of genuine power behind this price movement? Is there any sort of true strength? And I have no idea, but by using charts, we can make answering that question very straightforward. And all revolves around, in my mind, that level down there at the $4 mark. Why is $4 important? Well, hopefully we can agree with the logic that price movements with true power are going to make progress forward. So keep in mind, because nothing can go straight up, but at least show some signs of progress. Case in point, if the price comes down here, behaves like that, and then curls back upwards, what would you have? Well, you'd have a set of lows right here. You'd have a set of lows down here, and if you envision each of those as stair-steps, well, there you go. You have stair-steps making progress in the upwards direction. On the flip side of things, if the price comes down here and then just breaks down through it, what do you have at that point? Well, now all of a sudden you have the price having gone right back to where it was. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine strength. So yes, strong bounce, big bounce today. Is there any sort of true strength? Well, let's see if this strength can show some progress. How is progress being defined? Staying above $4. Next one here, ticker symbol AMC, and all things considered, a good solid day. Yeah, the opening, pullback here wasn't the greatest, but at least it didn't, completely come down and then just keep dropping. It did level out, and where it leveled out is what I'm going to, definitely classify as a key area of support headed into tomorrow, which sits right there around the 384 mark. So 384, an important level. Going back to what we just talked about in NYCB, if the price were to come down here and break below it, at that point you start to have one of these situations where, okay, now the price is basically gone right back to where it was. And as just stated, that's not really a sign of any sort of genuine power. But so far, so good. The price is maintaining, at a higher area here. If the price does try to curl back upwards, then nothing new to report. Still all about that pink line, which I talked about in yesterday's video as the main area of resistance. So keep an eye on that. But like I said, not the greatest day, but by no means some sort of complete train wreck. So let's see if the price can stay above 384 moving forward. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free webinar. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can click on to get signed up. Or if you're watching this right at my website, there's an area on the page there you can use to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live webinar. Next one here, ticker symbol PHUN, and nasty gap down here. So note about that from the individual day perspective, very rough. But from an overarching standpoint, the chart is holding up the way you would want to see it from a bullish standpoint, that is. And that has everything to do with that pink line there, that 200 period moving average. And you can see right now the price is doing a great job of just hovering right around that area. So from an overarching standpoint, that is certainly the level that you want to see continue to hold strong. So far, so good. That 200 period moving average is indeed maintaining the price for now. If there is any sort of attempted bounce back off that level, then you have two main areas of resistance. Yes, you have the overarching level up here, which I've talked about, but that one's kind of irrelevant right now. The more near-term level is going to be all about that purple line, 50 period moving average, just based on that rule that when levels of resistance, when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance, and that's what we have in this situation right here. So yes, no doubt about it. Today, very nasty day individually, but looking at things from the bigger picture point of view, as you can see here, the price is still in an uptrend, and the price does still have the opportunity to bounce off that 200 period moving average. Next one, ticker symbol GLT, and we have ourselves a very interesting situation here as a price. And as I speak, and this is why I like to do these when the market's still open late day, because check it out, as I speak, this candle is approaching this trend line right here. Market closes in about 6 minutes. So 6 minutes to try to push through that level. But that'll be the big question mark moving into Thursday is, can the price break that level? Or who knows, maybe it does. So maybe when you pull up the chart, the price is above that trend line. So if it's, if that's the situation, then you just have a little different question. That would be, okay, well, it's already broken, but is this break the start of something even bigger? Both of those always exciting questions to be asking. And that's what a watch is all about, finding those unique, finding those interesting situations, not randomly rushing out and buying stuff, but at least watching it. So if you like to play breakouts, if you like this price range, this is certainly a very interesting scenario here. I mean, you got to move up, nice little consolidation, curled back up, slight pullback here. So essentially a little miniature cup and handle here. So now it's just a question of, can this get up through that level? We'll see what happens with it on Thursday. Next one here, SMX, and started off very strong. Now you have a bit of a deeper pullback. So the entire chart's not ruined. A little tricky to talk about from my perspective, because I'm talking with the multiple people. So if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, and you bought right there or you bought right there, then yeah, for you the chart's looking really bad if your goal was to buy there and sell 10 minutes later. But assuming you care about the bigger picture point of view, in all actuality, so yes, there's been this pullback here, but what was going on before the pullback? Well, you had this big move here. So you have essentially a bull flag pattern. If you like to play more so pullbacks, and definitely an interesting level to keep an eye on is you have these two moving averages down here, basically the same value, which you now know. Pink line, the 200 period moving average, purple line, the 50 period moving average. So if the price were to go down there, does that mean it's guaranteed to bounce? Of course not. Does it become a little bit more rational and plausible to think that the price could find some support there and get a bounce? Yeah, absolutely. But that's why risk management matters, because there are no guarantees. So depending on your framework here, you could call this a bull flag. You could just want to see this come down here to these moving averages and hold strong. But it is a penny stock, and I know penny stocks are popular. It's got a lot of good volume, so it'll be interesting to see if this pullback continues or if this thing's getting ready to curl back upwards. Next one here, ticker symbol TSLA, Tesla. Big movement today from a technical standpoint, and it has everything to do with this trend line right there. You can see the price has broken above it, and it's still actually above it. So it's gotten that breakout, which now goes into the new question. So the question had been, okay, can the price even break above that level? But we got that question answered. Yes, it can. The price is above it. Now, which transitions to the next question of, is this the start of something even bigger? Can the price maintain that breakout? So I'm going to go ahead and delete that line out, but just keep in mind that's the context. A key trend line has been broken, with the next new battleground from a resistance standpoint going to be right here at that level of $190. If you go back through the history of things, you can see right there, rejected the price. Somewhat close right there, and then again, essentially rejected right there. Now, even if 190 is broken, that is a good step in the right direction, but I wouldn't get too excited because not that far away. You then have that pink line up there, the 200 period moving average. But nonetheless, again, general context of today is broke that key trend line. Now it's got to do battle and get up through that 190 mark. If there's any sort of deeper pullback, then keep an eye on that purple line there as in an area of support, and then a much more important level up or down there right there at 181, although that's not really relevant given the price is way up here. But nonetheless, good day here for Tesla. Let's see if it can continue with a breakout on Thursday. Next one here, ticker symbol TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the NASDAQ as a whole is going to go up, this one will also go up. And as you can see here, a lot of red lines. The price is above all these red lines, meaning all these resistance levels were indeed broken today. So in other words, good solid day. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those levels right there. First key update, just like I said, when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. And we actually have a classic example of that right here. So broke above it. At that point, you would want to see it act as support. There was a bit of a pullback, found support, and then up it went. So if there's another pullback here, ideally you want to watch, or you want to see 57.85 hold strong. But I say ideally because the price falls below it. That doesn't mean the entire chart's destroyed and the NASDAQ is going bankrupt or anything like that. I'm just saying, technically speaking, that would by far make it look the best. Next level of support would be that purple line there, which you can see classic example right there. Beautiful job of that level holding strong before the move up today. And then from more of an overarching standpoint, you have that level down there right now. In terms of areas of resistance, very straightforward. Got to think a lot of people have noticed that area right there. So if it can break up through there, self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It's more than rational to think that could generate another round of momentum. But yeah, definitely a very good day today. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then definitely get signed up for that free live webinar. It'll be very soon, Thursday, February 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do two things for me. Hit the like button, leave a comment, say hi, tell me your watch list, tell me what you traded today. But those two things help out these videos, and I really do appreciate it. So go get signed up for that free webinar. Hit that like button, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.